Hi, it's Ashley with At Home with Ashley, and today I want to talk about the Lenox Spice Village. I have loved this for years, and I had it before a lot of people had it, but now a lot of people are getting the new re-release from Lenox, and it's so fun for me to see other people just like loving this as well and unboxing it. So exciting. But one thing I have noticed is people are like, how am I going to display this? So I wanted to show you a few ways I have displayed mine. I have it hanging on my wall in this glass container from Target. And it's nice because it won't get dusty in there. Little hands can't break it or pets can't knock it off. So I like this for a lot of reasons. I also just, the brass is beautiful. It was $50. Another option is to do a countertop display. So if you don't have wall space, but you have space on your counter, you can get an acrylic holder from Amazon and they're really affordable, less than $20, and they kind of just disappear. They're more modern look, but then the Village, it really sparkles. It looks great on it. So I like both of those options, but nothing really beats the original Lenox Spice Village rack. And it has the shape of a house on the top, a drawer on the bottom. It's very cute. I ended up painting mine white and I'm happy with that. But I've seen a lot of people who are wanting it, but if you go on eBay, it's $350 to buy it used plus shipping. It's just kind of obscene, those prices. So I thought you and I could make one together, and we're gonna spend like 40-ish dollars to make it. So that's gonna save a ton of money, and I'm gonna try to make it as simple as possible, but kind of still get the same look, so that even a beginner could make this themselves. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is measure so that we can get the same dimensions so they fit nicely. And the total height on this is about 22.5 inches tall. But for my purposes, I'm not going to build in this little drawer at the bottom because, like, what do you even use it for? I don't think it's necessary, and it adds a lot of complications, so we're simplifying things. Okay, let's measure the pediment. So this part is 4.5 inches tall, and it's about 17.25 wide. So that's important. And then since we're going to start with this bottom shelf, let's measure from there to the height of this, which is 15.5. So your sides are going to be 15.5. You're going to need 2 of those. And then each shelf, we're going to have 4 shelves, and those are each going to be 13.25 inches wide by, let's see, like 3.25 inches deep. So I think that should give us most of our dimensions. Oh, we should also look at how much space there is between each shelf, which is about 3.5 inches, so that we can build them the right height so the houses have space to go in. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. Let's start cutting wood so we can start building this. We used our miter saw to cut the wood for the shelf, and we really started with the sides and the actual shelves. So for the sides, those are each going to be 17 inches long, and then for the shelves, they're 13.5 inches long. And then it's also good to do a spacer because between each shelf, you need it to be 3.5 inches tall. So we cut 2 of those. And then because these are all cut and ready to go, I'm going to start painting them because I figure painting a piece of wood like this is so much easier than painting it when it's all assembled. We don't have the top pediment painted yet because it's a little bit tricky, and I'm hoping I can like figure it out so I can tell you the easiest way to do it. So we've tried a few ways, we haven't figured it out, but we're going to do that tomorrow, and painting today so that we can assemble also tomorrow. It's day 2 of making our own Lenox Village spice rack. And the first thing we're going to do is work on the pediment. So we're going to cut our 4.5 inch piece of wood, and we're going to cut it 17.5 inches long. And then 1 inch up on each side, we're going to make a mark, and then halfway over, which is 8.75 inches over, we're going to make a mark on the top. So then you're going to connect those lines together to create a triangle, and then we're going to cut it out. And we thought a lot about the best way to cut it out, and we decided to do this on the table saw, and it worked really nicely. I think you could also use a circular saw or a jigsaw for this if you don't have a table saw, but the table saw worked great. So next we're going to add some trim to the top of the pediment so it looks like our example. And what we're doing is cutting it on a 22.5-inch angle. It's kind of a weird angle that they chose for the original one. It's not a 45. Our miter saw has it, and so that's what we cut our trim on, and then we just nailed that into place. We're using 5-inch long nails, and that works perfectly to get those on the top of the pediment. So now we need to figure out how to attach the pediment to the shelves. And the way it's done on the original is there's kind of a notch out on the back of the shelves, the side part of the shelves. And so we're going to mark that. So what we're going to do is mark 3/4 inches down, and we're going to also mark the width of the shelf. So you can use the spacer for that, for the notch. And then you're just going to draw a little rectangle to connect those. And then take that to the jigsaw and cut out that little notch. Now that we have that, we can make the squiggly front line of the shelf. And what we did was we measured 1 1/4 inches up from the back of the side of the shelf. Also mark where the top of the highest shelf hits the side piece. And then I just went in and drew a squiggly line between those 2 points that kind of looks like the original. This doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of give it some like nice movement. I felt like an angle cutting it was just too abrupt, but I really do like this like soft squiggle. And then we need to take that outside and cut it with a jigsaw and just go nice and slow and follow the lines. Once you have the first side done, you can use it to mark the squiggle on the second one so they're uniform. And we didn't do this perfectly. It was a little bit angled, but it's okay. It's just supposed to add some like nice movement and softness to the shelf. Okay, so now's the time we've all been waiting for, which is to assemble everything. So what we started with was trying to use screws to attach it, but because MDF is a little bit crappy wood, it just split. And so we decided what we needed to do was to use some glue and some nails. And my husband really liked to draw a line and mark some spots to nail it. So for the bottom shelf, we used a corner clamp, and that was really nice to get the bottom perfectly 90 degrees. And then what we did was we put the spacer in, put the Lenox shelf in, and held those really close together and glued and nailed that in. And on the second side, you kind of have to glue all the pieces at once, put that on, and then nail them into place. And when the glue dries, it's going to be super strong. Glue is supposed to be stronger than screws, so I'm hoping that's true because I don't want this to be flimsy, but I think it will be very good. To make it look more like the original, I'm adding some trim onto the bottom, so you just need to cut that on the 45-degree angle. It works nice to cut the first piece that is 14 5/8 inches long with a miter on both sides, nail on the trim, nail on the sides, and then we're taking it inside because it's time to put on the pediment. So you just have to glue that in place and then again nail it in. We're not putting in too many nails because this wood really wants to split. But because it's decorative on top, it doesn't need that many nails. And now we need to use wood filler to fill all those nails, sand it nice and smooth once the wood filler is dry, and then it's paint. I'm using the color Beloved Pink. It's one of my favorite colors. I've used a lot in my house. We're just painting the whole thing and it's looking really good. I was happy that I pre-painted the shelves before because it was nice to not have to like get in the crooks and crannies, and I think it'll be a better job because half of it was pre-painted before it was assembled. The shelf is done and I am so excited to show it to you. It is cute with the pink. You can paint it any color you want though, which is very fun. And it just looks so cute with all the stuff on it. And I think I did a really good job making it look like the old one, but more simplified. So hopefully a beginner can build this. I also have a blog I'm going to link in the description because it has the written instruction. And sometimes if you're making something, it's nice to follow along with that instead of a video. But I also think the video works with it so that you can hopefully recreate this. At least that's my goal. Things I would do differently in the future is I would probably spend like $50 more, so spend like $90 on supplies and make it out of solid wood. That way you could have like the wood look. I'm not mad about my pink one and I really like it, but when I was seeing how much it was cracking by like putting the screws in, I prefer to use screws, so I would use wood instead. I also want to show you how the old shelf looks with the new shelf. They're very similar. I obviously left the bottom drawer out and I added that little rosette on the top just for like some cute detail, but I think they're very comparable. So I hope if you're looking to make a Lenox Spice Village rack, that this will do it for you because it fits everything in perfectly, and I can't get over how freaking adorable it is. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you like it? Would you try this? Do you have questions? Let me know that in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already, I would love if you subscribed.